Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Prussia, in which the Prussian borders continue to expand in all directions, except for the west, because of the lands of the Slavs are to be ignored unless weakened. But we've been mainly focused on, moving towards the north, where we've subjugated the Utgalians, the Salonians, even the Livonians here, despite the fact that they are of a different culture and different faith, the different kind of gods they believe in compared to ours, but we consider them as, well, I wouldn't say integrated people, but unless they change their culture, but I'm not going to impose anything on them. Plus, the man doesn't like me well enough, because I took one of his artifacts that deemed important to me. But as you know, that it's Kunkete, soon be Kunkete II, when he becomes the heir to the Kingdom of Prussia. I also made him the designated regent, because I am infirm. There might be a time where I will be fall into a coma, become incapable, so just to make his rule begin early, that Kunkete is the one we chose, and all the electors are okay with my decision. Runkym, who is an ugly, brawny but dull man, whereas he's not dull. It's one of the reasons why he wins out here. Even though he's still got good combat skill, I can't deny that. But I once told him to be in a warrior lodge, but he didn't want to be in anymore, or is it due to the fact that Medina never asked him to, because I have no memory, honestly. And my youngest Viltus, who will become 12 shortly, and he is becoming a trained fighter. He's a trained fighter, but I hope more of the best out of him. And if he were, for some reason, well, I don't know, it's highly doubtful that he would become quick or genius to be better than him, but to me he's the most qualified. Even though he is homely, but also he's shorter than average. He's short but strong. Short but robust, I should say. So size matters not to him. He already has a daughter, but that's because 3rd of April. Yes, she gave birth and died. And mother just died of severe stress at the same time. So one would think she probably technically died in childbirth in relates to stress. Which is a great shame, really. But do not worry, we'll find you a better bride, unless you want to look for it for yourself, which you can go right ahead. Unless we find another charming woman who has the right traits. In fact, look at those that you have in your prison. Which asks the question, any young, good-looking women around here? Well, that's a man, but you get the idea. Too old. Like the traits, but she's mid-age, so actually you should look at the age before you even select. Chaste. Different faith. Yeah, I don't know about her, but she's tall and attractive, but a little bit absent-minded. But again, it's like you're not gonna, well, let's see. It's like, yes, I can give give them away as, you know, a concubine or take a concubine, which cannot be refused. But I think what would happen is you take her in as my concubine and later give it to him as marriage. Sounds like an idea. Oh, strong, but weird enough. Odd-shaped chin or jaw, perhaps too big or too small. Oh, and by the way, I am recording this episode that I took 2 days off before I recorded this episode because I have a bit of a sore jaw because I was working pretty hard when I was recording for yet another video series that will be coming up next month. I'm not going to tell you what in details of what that is at this time, but I'll try to not to get too stressed nor put a lot of effort to it as far as my speech pattern is concerned, so I'll take it easy. Reduce my schedule of recordings. Anyways, why is there always flaws? No drunken women. Also, look at the age before you select, okay? Strong but malnourished, but it adds up a little. The High Chiefess herself. Gosh, she would be angry at me if I were to take her as my concubine. But I don't need to have more children. 3 sons is good enough for me. I know you're not married yet. Even though you do have a calm voice. I know what to do. Let me look. Like, what was the name again? You can have the strong one. Look, I'll take her. I can recruit her instead, but she'll still be married to him. Or we consider him as enemy, but do take her in anyway. Okay, now that I brought you here, but... Hey, I found the right girl for you. Again, she may be a bit malnourished, but I hope you have children in your future. But as for you, let me look at the prisons again. I thought I saw someone really good, but her age isn't there. Oh, I think I remember her name. Yes, her. She's 32. But the absent-minded thing is, I don't know. It's a bit dicey for me. He isn't gonna like me for this. You're not gonna be my concubine. Simply brought you in because you are gonna marry my son. Yes, you'll call me abductor for the rest of your life, but it matters not. The only difference is that she's a Livonian and of the different faith. I hope you two get along. Even though we were just marrying her for her looks, not her skills. And I hope you better get rid of your stress, because that stewardship skill isn't going to do you any favors. And I'll give my son an education soon. Anything else? Ransom them. But where do we expand next? I know where, and that is to the east. We're trying to get to Vezev, because that is a holy site for the Baltic faith over there. And then after that we turn south to go as far as Kiev. That's our ultimate plan. And plus we're trying to raise some money because, you see, the raiders led by my son Kukita, destroyed this holy temple. Because this was a home of a holy site when we were conquering the lands of the Solonians, but we accidentally destroyed it. And I feel guilty about it, so to make up for it, that's the reason why we're going to ransom everybody. And I don't want to pick up a loan, take a loan. We'll add that. My marshal can be the tutor. Because there is, even though my son is 25, but he's not fully tutored on everything, so I'm going to give you this. That'll be 50 gold. Plus, there is another way to try to make some money. We plan on going to war against them, but the Holy War CB down has not expired, and it will expire until next November. So we'll use this free time, as well as the size of our retinues and the domain levies, to force the neighboring countries, particularly the Estonians and the Unganians, that's how you pronounce that, to pay tribute to Prussia, because we don't desire to go up north yet. And possibly same for them too. They make a pretty modest income, even though one is in the middle of a war. A big war, in fact. This seems rather concerning. But clearly, everybody's against them. But it's the Finns that are striking back. $4,000. Estonia's not involved. So we can't use conquest, but we'll try to extort tribute from them. Basically try to intimidate them. And call no tribals. Over here. Meet up with the rest. Spy message died. Ah, yes, the whiner. Oh dear, all these plots to revenge, dead, kill. Oh, that's Kunkite who wants to kill this man for whatever reason. Really, he's in my court, and yet he's one of the great fighters. Why haven't we used him yet? Don't kill him. Listen, we have a lot of talent here, but put him in. He should be in the army. Yeah, just a lot of killing and whatnot. The mission I ordered to cause instability in the domain of the Prince Bishop of Runkym of Bremen was an unmitigated success. Several coordinated actions were performed across the agitator's domain. Now he's the one suffering the consequences. As the good news of the mission spread like wildfire, the spirit of my own population significantly improved. Excellent. No longer wounded, even though I'm still infirm. Well, I envision you in being a warrior, so no matter what, I'm going to give you that martial education. As I was getting ready to sleep, I heard a scuffle from outside of my bedroom door. Rushing outside, I found that my guards had seized a cloaked man as he was attempting to slip some documents into the room. Under questioning, it was revealed that he was working for Chief Sangloves and that the documents were fabricated, intended to turn my vassal, to turn me against my vassal. Friend, what the hell? You're one of the great commanders. Served me for a long time. I'll deal with you later. Looks like they are not intimidated. Because all we need is just raise a good number of funds. 485. So we could rebuild this temple. That's our priority here. Tributaries and rebuild a temple. No. For goodness sakes, don't loot your own territory. Head straight for the capital. The void resides there. It's easier to drag him out. Apparently this capital of Estonia here, beloved grandmother passed away here. An elder, one of the local villages, was respected all over the region for his wisdom, humility, and kindness to all. Nicknamed the grandmother of all, her recent death was led to the outpouring of grief and support among the locals, who claim her spirit now watches over everyone. Meanwhile, I misplaced some critical documents and will have to meet some officials soon about the issues related to documents. What am I going to do? I have the proud trait, so... Oh dear. No, don't come up with that excuse. But you're gonna lose prestige no matter what. But, you know, I kind of want to make some room for another good trait, since... I have more virtues than sins, but I think it matters little. I've accomplished a lot that one day I will be feasting with the gods. Father would be proud of me now, but I'll just... Listen, you've accomplished a lot in life. But I'll say, admit my mistake and promise to make it up for it. And I did lose proud. Even though I would have a slower gain on prestige, but we're about to get some more prestige by winning tributary wars. We changed our tone and tenor for this year. Yep. Becomes tributary. Thank you. That's what I want from you. It's just a suzerain. No, get out of here. This one we don't need to use our domain levies for. This is a weaker realm. And lack of funds, meaning they won't be able to resist much. We'll say when. Stop. Alright, start the next. It's time to make the Uganians pay tribute to us as well. When you win tributary wars, you know, you actually gain 200 prestige. And what little income they'll give out, they will give it to us. It's the beauty of this. And next November, we'll conquer this area. So we can get closer and closer to there. But this one, ooh, that may acquire a lot more manpower if we want these guys to pay tribute to us. Again, the reason why we make such good income is because we hold a lot of domain, as well as some of the trade posts here. Look at the trade zones. Trade post there, there. Although it has not been built yet, but we do have this in control as well. In Lithuania too, but trade post not built yet. Basically want to dominate the Amber Road. One would think. Even when we eventually go down to Kiev, another holy site, also part of the Amber Road. Basically dominate this land and you will be prosperous. But we're only here to grab holy sites. Listen, son. Would you like to be warlords? Characters are not busy or fighting a war. Oh, yeah, have to be at peace. Very well. Wait a minute. This particular county, like, that is a theocracy vassal because this is a temple-only territory. Anyways, it's time for an arm wrestling challenge. It's been a while since we had a good arm wrestling. Many important warriors have gathered in the lodge tonight in order to celebrate a recent hunt. I barely joined some of my friends' festivities when Chief, Alshva, the accent mark there, barges in, claiming that she is twice as strong as I am, and challenging me to an arm wrestling match to prove it. Well, take it easy, I'm an old man. Ooh, and you're brawny too. Yet they call you Red Cheeks because you were humiliated one time. You are on. She and I sit in front of the other, preparing ourselves for the game. We put our tables on the table while the third fighter holds fist still. The crowd around us chants a disjointed countdown and it cheers as they start pushing against each other. With a loud thump, I slam her fist against the table, earning a shower of tears from the other warriors gathered around us. My opponent glares at me and mumbles something about accepted defeat as she rubs her hand. I don't think, I should do her because, again, just take it easy on the old man. But I'll just say, be a nice one and say, don't be too hard on yourself. I'm not as prideful as I used to because the frailty of old age has gotten the best of me now. Delta Semba is short. Maybe focus on the brain and looks. Okay. He has the short trait, but however, it is distinct from the short... he's become my bitch. Okay, let me bring up the speed real quick. Since I use both the HIP and the Dark Ages mod, which the combination of those two makes this playthrough really great, as well as all the others. Because it makes it a little more realistic and so on. But there are just some things where it's like you got similar traits and yet they kind of don't match, but you get the idea. So in other words, it's like, here's the one who is, who is tiny, whereas his little brother is, well, little, but, well, he's short, but he is not tiny like he is. Not to the point of dwarf, which is separate from tiny. Yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So, and yet he's of normal height. Whereas he's tiny, whereas he's short but not tiny, so he's between average height and tiny. So, I get it. I get it. And as a reminder, set of rules. I set this because that's at default. Genetic traits delayed. Just to add more realism. Just to reiterate. Large market cities are being built, adding us even more income. And thanks to resources, which that's enough money to begin the reconstruction of this temple, which it'll be finished on the 22nd of February in 2 years. And I'm not concerned about the terror. I am sorry, Kunkita. The tutor was obtained success. My son has obtained a method of working that would help him in life. That was quite fruitful. I mean, you have brave, 1, cruel, 2. Okay, that's too much, so one of the traits has got to go. He's got rid of that sin. Good. You're far more virtuous, and hope you get well soon, because... Do we not have a court physician? Yes, we do. And we got some room for all 4 venerable elders. Oh, it's just a flu. A mild one, so I trust he can handle this on his own. He will ask for what kind of treatment. Just take it easy. Another short. But a 10 and more long, so noticeably shorter than average. See, it's different. Let me bring it up one more time. Noticeably shorter than average. Much shorter than average. Noticeable versus much. By definition. In the dungeon? Whoa. Put her under house arrest. Don't give her away. She's got a good mind. Well, we can't ransom her away, so... I was thinking maybe I should raise her. She'll be useful. What I mean is, when she grows up to be 14, because that's the eligible age to get married in HIP, like, maybe it can be the concubine, right? Or be that, but I don't know. We just want to spread the dynasty around. She may be short, but she's got a good mind. Kid's got a good mind. It has come to our attention that your son, Runkym, remains outside of the fold. May we humbly urge you to talk to him about becoming a member of the band of Medina like his father? Well, I'll try, but we have to be at peace first. My lord, Kugita sends word of enemy courtiers found at the Oganindu tribe and wish to know if desire to prisoners. Heir to the chieftain. Instruct Kugita to deliver everyone he's found. That increases the war score a bit. And got pile of books. It's a trade good, which we'll sell him a little later, when that time comes. Huh. Coal's still flooding from a lake, so it must have been a really rough storm that somehow just flooded the area. That decreases the levy size, so make it easier, and we'll pick up those temple guards. We haven't picked up Respected Commander trait yet. Keep winning more victories. And I don't remember if we had that, because he kind of picked it up a bit. Here's the pile of books. Where am I? Who are these people? Oh, pretty colors. So tired. Oh, here we go. He's incapable, so we knew this was coming. That means I can't recruit him if I'm incapable, right? Doesn't say. And banish anyone that has very little money in them. Last orders. Yep, appalling learning. And because if you're incapable, you cannot switch to any focuses at all. And it is not time to worship the ancestors. That time hasn't come yet. Like, if we make it by that time, where it's time to worship the ancestors, we better wish for good health. It'll only take a miracle to be out of the coma. And we can summon a few lodge commanders. Just give me 3. Ooh, an assassin. And this one. Formidable fighter. Forest ambusher. They're just really good fighting men to be in a court. So they'll serve under you, son, as you'll take up Regency as you're out in battle. I don't have long to live. But finish the war. Just do it. Destroyed the city of Peskov in its wake. Just take over all these territories. Make them pay tribute. There's another area that you must conquer, son. Because remember the quest to Prussia. You still have to accomplish this. Fortunately, there is only one area. And look at this. Chieftain. It's a home of a holy monument, a trade route, construction efforts financed. A famous hermit passed away there. Silk shipment, jewelry shipment, lumber shipment. Amber Road. That guy must be a member of the Trade League, which, yes he is. There's a lot of good loot in there. Head to there, now. Conquer Victories. Yeah, it's still occupied because we were raiding them. That's why it says that still. So, cook it there. Did you name it after? Oh god, not a sickly child. Was there something wrong with her? Is it due to your stress? What? Don't tell me you are cursed. Not to mention, Yarusha is a popular name for Prussian girls. In spite of some bruises and mild injury, I was not alone in being satisfied with the skill displayed by Augvilas Nowitzki. While I'm intrigued, time will only tell whether joining our ranks is the right path for the young man or not. Not a member? Interesting. We're rivals now. And my bastard's gonna outlive me. Finish it now. Velikia will go to Runkym. So, this is how it's going to be settled. Runkym will take Mazovia. He will govern Zersk, Chelimo, Trakai, and Velikia Luki. Diltis will be the High Chief of Courland. He will take eastern Zhukia, Bandava, Upmale as well. So we're really separating territories. While he will be the heir of Prussia proper. Mostly of that. But I am incapable of recruiting the child. So it's not possible. as stated. Return to position towards the capital of Zambia. Because you may never know that in the in magnetic elective Gavelkind that sometimes these entities could become independent. I mean, look how far we have expanded. It is not an empire, but it's a great kingdom. A great tribal kingdom that we've been on periods of endless conquests. And what are we going to do with this newly earned money? We'll just spend little if you have to. And all this prestige that you've earned from winning these tributary wars. We can't let it go away, right? Better use them. Such as more weaponsmiths in our capital for faster reinforcement rate, including the morale of our armies, because that's where most of our troops come from. And also need more shipbuilders. Because we plan on, you know, establishing a fleet of our own. I mean, it's in its infancy, but it's only to be used for overseas raids. Not against the Norse. I mean, possibly, you know, Gotland, which has good wealth, but particularly the coasts over there, and even to areas like there. Because in order to increase moral authority, you also got to loot infidel temples. Gotta do lots of them. Just loot wherever there are temples you see out there. Just like what we did to them. So we're bringing our army home. You know, we never really invested in this trade post. I guess we have it built, but, you know, Zambia will be a center of trade one day. And we can build other structures if we have a trade post, so we'll start with this. A small trade post at which traveling merchants can buy and sell various trade goods here. I mean, this is the current trade zone income, and this is the trade zone value. Yeah, there's very little trade value here, but we can definitely get to work on it. And since we're going to take a break from warfare this time, and of course that rival of mine isn't going to cooperate much, so give it to him, the Word Slayer. Nice nickname. What was originally going to be finished on June 25th will now be this. It will be finished on November in 2 years. It's a bigger structure, you know. And this one for this coming July. How many members are there? So we just have to invest in the areas where trade posts exists. And they both exist here in Zambia and in Dante. An old woman passed away in Zusk recently. Though a humble villager, this beloved grandmother of all lived a very long time, more than a century some claim, and was of humble and virtuous temperament, doing her best to guide the community and provide for wisdom to all. She received visitors from even local nobles from other villages nearby. There have been claims that her spirit will bless these lands for many years to come. This grandmother will sorely be missed, even though the land is mainly Catholic. So this is either a Baltic grandmother or an old Catholic woman who probably is said to be beloved by not only the Christian people that live there, but also pagans of Baltics and Slavics. So I guess she was beloved by all here, one would think, right? But it reduces the local revolt risk, so there can be no tension between the Catholics and the Balts. Might as well make use of this renown, as I can't recruit the child. We know that Sambia is very well fortified. Livonia next door, just as Natruvia, same. But if it were to come from other areas, it would come from the south and the west for potential invasions. But I don't think you've done enough with Pogosania, so let's do that. We just want to make the coast of Prussia proper very protective, especially against Norse raiders, if they ever come here. Right. Now that we have a trade post, we have the ability to build a warehouse, which it can be expanded upon, and mercenary garrison, which can be expanded upon in future. Sambia has become a very important province, as this is not only the capital of the Prussian kingdom, but soon will become the center of trade of the Amber Road. Again, all of these has to be, required up a level. But all these things, it's just man. Who says that we're not civilized? Claiming to them. No. We Prussian people are probably more sophisticated than others give us credit for. I mean, these Norsemen up there, they just rather raid and all that, but the real question is, do they even have a trade post there? Actually, yes. Yes, they do. But have they invested? No. But again, this is coastal. What about for the inland trade posts? Well, they're not built yet. Because, wartime circumstances. So yes, the trade value did go up. But the fort level is weak. That's the reason why we're heavily fortifying, of the traditional Prussian territories. And soon fortifying this trade post with a larger garrison, just to make sure that nobody disturbs the center of trade here. Because it was said historically that Zambia was the most densely populated and the wealthiest of all the Prussian regions. So I am happy that we are making this amount of fortune, this, even though I have a over the domain size, but sons will control these different areas for themselves. Alright, Shorty. You're eligible to be married, but there's this girl here. What's her name? Was it Adva? Yes, her. Put her under house arrest and she's been given a learning education. Okay. But next year, you will be married to her. Well, in actuality, take her to concubine and then marry. But there's a good chance that I may die before this even happens. I doubt that I'll live the next year. You know, if you're going to be raiding, because we still have to get over there. But remember, raid only at areas where, you know. I got a pretty good size. Yeah, it's raiding time. Independently of how truly deep run my waters, life should be looked at as an emotional cocktail ready to be served up to the last drop with a happy-go-lucky attitude, or should be instead be a possession of graces preciously guarded with stern countenance. A toast for the emotions. Even though it matters little. Perhaps it's time to repay the favor. I need now to decide what type of service I want the Chief of Bot to perform. I can ask him to further my party, prestige, or if he is landed and not allied with me, I can ask for an alliance. I don't know about him, but this may sound like a bit of a petty request, but ask for gold. After a long afternoon of said pleasantries and idle talk, in my bed, because I'm in a coma, even after waiting longer for a late dinner, my request for financial help was well received and the results speak for themselves. Ah, the joys of waiting. In actuality, we're using this money to invest more of this trade post. Up even more trade value and trade rail wealth by having a basic warehouse to provide merchants with a place to store goods. Actually, go for the one with a small mercenary garrison. A small band of mercenaries is permanently stationed at this trade post, acting as guards and protecting the traders from outside threats. Because it'll be finished quicker. It'll be finished by the end of next year. There you go. Sacrifice. You know what? We gotta up that kill count. Okay. I'm gonna make this the exception. Because I am thinking about killing all the men here. Like, I'm going to start executing. Except for her because of interest. But you probably want to have this as an exception. She's still just a child. Is she in her house arrest too? Dungeon. Oh, damn it. I mean, she can leave because I don't want to have, you know, be a child killer in my conscience. I can recruit her, but, well, she's a Latgalian, so, yeah. Just out of goodwill. So if I kill everybody here, yeah, there are some who are vassals' opinion. Perhaps some of them are, you know, concubines to one of them. They'd just say, "Is this your woman? I'll let her go." Oh, you don't like that. But you don't mind recruiting. Okay, she'll stick around. Concubine to a vassal, she could be let go. So, we're not going to execute everybody. Okay, that one can... No, she's 41. No, she's dead. Worse than vassal's opinion. Chieftain Bakya. So, if I were to execute him, he doesn't like that, so, because he's your guy, right? Okay. There you go. Damn, I'm not going to kill everybody, is there? Okay, this one we can. This is just only going to be executing 3 people. With the exception of Adva, who I'm educating. And then once she turns 14, and if I live next year, then she will be married to my youngest son. So, there you have it. See? I am not a genocidal maniac. No. You can't just pick and choose these days. You just got to think what is right. As far as for one's piety and the opinion of the vassals for this ever-expanding kingdom of ours. Go ahead. He was hanged. Offered up a sacrifice. I thought we killed everybody. Are you saying there are certain characters I can't execute? Oh. They don't want to execute this man because the council's against it. Why do you say that? Uh-huh, you're a pacifist. Zealot, he's abstains. Moneymaker, no particular opinion. Graham, no particular opinion. He abstains. Graham. So, there's something useful about this man, apparently. Well, what about releasing him? Okay, they're all for it. Okay, we don't have to execute everybody then. Mind you, this is under a regency. I have no power even to executions anymore. And you don't want to execute this man, but these two are will, but what's the matter with her? Oh, can we have her? Despite her advanced stage? They don't want her killed, they don't want her released, but we can recruit her, which everybody's for it. Okay, you got it. So, no max executions. Thus, 64 kills. What a thoughtful regency this is, as it is run by my son Kunkite, who, despite the fact that he's cruel, but I guess he has standards. Very well. Just raid the neighbors to get money. Almost split. get as much money out of it as possible. Stack of silk cloths. Here you go. Just saving up for 200 gold. Good. Tribe and a bishopric. Head to there. Now, that means a couple more prisoners. A little more money out of this. It's actually going to be one at a time. When is our birthday again? Next September. Hope I live next September. Although I could commit suicide right now, but I don't want to because that would just ruin, you know, as far as, you know, what the eulogy's gonna say. That'll ruin it. A great man should not kill himself because he was capable. While he was infirmed, he changed his ways a little. Now we have a small mercenary garrison. Save up the money for a warehouse. Which we'll get him soon. Well, we better go get that right now. Ooh, oh. We hit the jackpot, boys. But see, I care about the prosperity. Now, if you want to build all these other little fancy structures that relate to this trade post here, I'll be happy for the successors to invest in, but they need trade practices too, for all, some a little higher, cities and temples as well. We have not reached to that point yet, but one day we will. All he needs is to find some stress relief. Right to shocking news. The chief of Kaibots of Pomerania tried to have me assassinated to make sure I wouldn't discover his plot to fabricate a claim on the High Chieftain of Prussia. Taking advantage of me, huh? Well, you better drop that right now. Lack of power, say? Well, you just wait till my son takes over. He'll have you dealt with. See what I can do. Not sure how, but he's managed to turn my own subjects against you. The people of Zambia are clamoring to have me disposed. That man must be stopped, but I can't do anything about it. He's taking advantage of me. That's why I had him fired as steward. Ambitious, kind, cynical. So here it is. King Runkym feasts with the gods at age 57. He died comatose in bed. never succeeded in making a name for himself. Runkym's most notable deed was participating in the construction of great works which he will never see finished. What great works? Of how prosperous that, that Zambia is going to be? But let me give you a better eulogy for Runkym. Runkym was the son of Kunkited I, which all I could say is that I think it would be better just to look at him. High Chief Kunkited, the diplomat of the Zambians, which we know that man was very diplomatically skilled, but he was a good fighter up until, I mean, it wasn't his thing, as he's much more into politics rather than be out on the battlefield most of the time. But he did it of necessity because he wanted to dominate all the other Prussian tribes until he was knocked out on the battlefield and became incapable. And this led to Runkym, the Horse-Gelder, formerly the Scarred. And he became the mightiest of the Prussian warriors, even becoming the hero of the Band of Medina and founder of this bloodline. Even though he had a little bit of a diplomacy in him due to his father. But he was a trained fighter, but he never truly became... but he'd been in a lot of duels, and the fact that he was a raider and a duelist and brawny kind of makes it up for his lack of being the master fencer, like some of the other contemporaries who lead the Prussian armies to victory. So, and not to mention that he also constructed a great pillar in Zambia, which is for, for our gods. As unlike his father, who was a patron to Perkunas, the god of thunder, and for Runkym, he was a patron to Zeminas, who gave Prussia prosperity as he expands into different lands of many cultures, be it Polish, Lithuanian, Livonian, Russian even, and to a lesser extent Estonians, is even as far reaching as up there of his sphere of influence. And then came along King Kuntite of Prussia, who started off as a regency, but he's participated in many battles, but he hasn't become a respected commander as of yet. For he is a formidable duelist. We expect him to excel in tournaments and personal combat alike. So may say, long live Kunkite. And he has many challenges ahead of him. And that is his two brothers, one older and the other younger than him. Which creates a bit of an odd paradox for him. For he is a member of the Band of Medina, much like Runkym, but he is tiny by the looks of things, whereas his oldest brother is of average size, whereas his youngest brother is noticeably shorter but slightly taller than King Kutikte. So he may have a bit of a complex, but he will try to live up the same success as Runkym, who was basically the Prussian version of Alexander the Great. The Prussian Alexander. For we know that he was a trickster and a battlefield terrain master. Now, Kunkite here is a brilliant strategist, but he's an aggressive leader. We already know he's tiny, but he is brawny, but he's a skilled fighter. Which, in fact, arguably, he's a better swordsman than his father was. But the only difference is that, yes, he's brave like him, but however, he is more cruel. which who knows where he gets his cruelty from, which didn't come from him. Neither did come from his mother. But he is ambitious, which, much like Runkym, so now he wants to be better. Despite his cruelty, he is far more patient and diligent. I mean, in fact, he's a lot like his father. The only difference is it's just the addition of cruelty. But for most of his adult life, he's been stressed, which we can hope he will get better. And all that. So now, High Chief Viltis has become the High Chief of Courland, and as he inherits the chiefdoms of Eastern Zukia, Bandawa, and Opmali. And now the High Chiefdom of Mazavia, led by the elder brother, King Runkym, who currently lives in the Prussia. But this is where the problem begins, is that the realms are now separated between the Kingdom of Prussia and the Kingdom of Livonia. Yes, the lands are separated, and that's the price for expanding for this much. We know that King CK2 is a veteran, but he can become a hero very soon. There's a lot of ambitions that he'll have. But if he wants to unite the kingdom, he'll have to do it by combat. And so they must be called back here for the loyal troops of Prussia. So the raiding ends. So now, 2 skilled fighters, but the only difference is that he's a bit depressed. He may be ugly and dull and brawny. CK2 is brawny, but he's shorter. And plus, he was using the Bleeding Lance as his personal weapon, and now he's taken up the axe that was once held by his father, the axe of Perkunas. And all the other stuff that he's inherited. So if there's one thing that has to be improved on, it's got to be his stewardship. Oh, and by the way, the final tally of kills for him is 63, not 64, because, you know, I think he assassinated somebody, you know. Even though stewardship was not his strong suit, but neither does him, but that needs to be improved upon. So that's where the problem lies, is that kingdoms are separated, but it should not be fought in the battlefield, but in the next episode, there's going to be trial by combat. Because in this society that we live in, I mean, it's been well established that the Prussians, compared to the other Baltic peoples, are the most warlike. And because of the elective Gavelkind system, elective partition system here, if you want to unite the realm, these two must duke it out. Winner takes all. Who is the mightiest of the sons of Runkym the Horse-Gelder? We shall see that answer in the next episode. But until then, so long for now.